Hi, in this section, I'm going to be going over some recommendations on how to enter the human resource industry. So, in my interview with Wendy, I asked her how she became the practice manager there at Gentle Dental, and she said it really happened for her organically, and that, she started out as the dental assistant, but because of an accident that she sustained, she couldn't bend over patients anymore. And so she really had to either one, quit or be promoted or developed into a position that didn't require that. And so she was a good employee. And so she got put into the practice manager position. And she said that attitude is everything. She loves to see people do good, and she's a naturally empathetic person, and she's a problem solver. And so she says your attitude is everything when it comes to HR. And then another way that you can enter in the human resource field is through the SHRM training and certification. I'd never heard of SHRM, which is the Society of Human Resource Management, but it's a great website. We've all used it throughout the quarter, and I'm going to continue to use it. It's got so many resources and tools, and the certification and training would only just guarantee to your future employers that you know all the ins and outs and you're fully trained and you understand all the employment laws, how to handle harassment, collective bargaining, any of those things that have to do with HR that you've been fully trained and certified from SHRM, which is a really accredited organization, I'm sorry. And then, like Wendy did, you can gain on the job experience and then move up within your organization and really show them that you're an employee that really wants to be developed. Squeaky wheel sometimes gets the grease. And then you can do like a lot of us are doing and go to school, get an AA, or you can further your education and get a bachelor in business management, certification in HR. There's just many ways that you can enter into the human resource industry. But like I think Wendy said, it's really important to have the right attitude going into this, because if you can't really want to help people and help solve problems, then maybe the industry might not be that great for somebody without those qualities, or they might have to work extra hard in that position. But lucky for everybody, those soft skills are also skills that we can develop. So I think that's it for this section. Thank you. Hi, so in this last section, I'm going to be discussing some challenges in the HR industry. So one of the biggest things that Wendy had a problem with currently was because she was peers with some of her employees in the past, she had a hard time creating boundaries and establishing clear expectations when she was first hired on, because some employees thought they could be more relaxed with her and behave like they had been prior when they were peers. And in her new position, she was now their supervisor. And so she really had to sit some of these employees down that was exhibiting some of this behavior and said, this is not acceptable, that she will support them throughout their employment there, but she couldn't tolerate that kind of behavior because it, for one, could appear to other employees that she was showing favoritism to these employees that were performing not up to standards. And she couldn't allow that because it would bring down the performance of the whole group, and it wasn't fair to the other employees. And so in doing that, she resolved a lot of the behaviors because she took the time to very clearly express what was expected of the employees and took the time to enforce it and said, listen, we have to fix this. I can't allow this. I know that you work better than this because I know what you're performing, what you can perform to. And so she found that the employees fixed their behavior, and she hasn't had any problems since. But when she does get a new employees, she does have to establish those same expectations with them just as quickly, so that there is no lax behavior and they know what is expected of them. So I guess that goes back to when you're talking about new employees, correctly onboarding them. She said the other biggest issue is that she's seen so much turnover in COVID. She's been a manager at other dental practices for several years now, and had just come back to the Gentle Dental in January. But from the beginning of the pandemic, she just noticed that employees just weren't staying employed, and she couldn't put her finger on it. And it's not just with her; it's a more widespread problem. There's a problem with, a lot of people are working virtually. And so that means a lot less engagement, a lot less, feeling of being connected. Employees are feeling isolated. And that plays a big part in, employee turnover. Does that employee feel, what's that employee's level of loyalty? And I also think that a lot of employees are scared, especially going into a dentist office. You're going to work with people, and you're in their mouths. And I think, especially, she said towards when the pandemic first started, people were very scared to come into work, especially when you're working in patients' mouths and they're open, and only one person is masked, and there was so much misinformation coming out that it was really hard to keep employees on the schedule. And she said also another thing could be that they are getting better benefits being unemployed. I've read several news articles in the last week alone that, restaurants are having to close because they don't have the employees that it's going to take to keep open. And that's because they're afraid. They're afraid that, they're going to come back to work, and they don't have any job security. What if another round comes and we go back to phase one and they don't have any jobs anymore? And what would be the point of that? I was just at Fred Meyer's the other day, and it was closed because only one employee showed up. And she was looking, and she was begging, and she was like, do you know anybody? It's $18 an hour for a barista job at Fred Meyer's, because they are so desperate for employees. So recruitment post-COVID, I think, is going to be a huge challenge in the HR industry. And I think that people are going to have to get a lot more creative in how they retain employees, how they make employees feel more secure, how they make people feel more connected to the organization's culture. Plays such a big part in retaining employees. Company parties, team training, the way they develop conferences, all those things are part of a company culture. And when you take those out, then you just kind of left with a sterile kind of, I'm just doing my task kind of thing. And you take the personality out of the organization, and it affects employees' engagement and their job satisfaction and their level of job security, depending on the industry. So I think HR professionals are really going to have to put some thought into how they retain and recruit employees post-COVID. And I think that's it for my presentation. I hope you have a really nice day. Thank you.